Today, when we hear the name America, what comes to our mind? The world's biggest economy, advanced technology, Hollywood, and a superpower that literally controls the entire planet. But what if I told you that this global giant didn't even exist on the world map just a few centuries ago? Even crazier, the discovery of this country wasn't a planned mission. It was actually the result of one massive, historic mistake. If you think you know the story of America, wait until you hear how a wrong turn in the ocean, a completely misleading name, and a brutal war between brothers shaped the world we live in today. Stick around till the very end, because the real story of how America became a superpower is far more dramatic than any Hollywood movie. The story begins in the year 1492. An Italian explorer named Christopher Columbus set sail from Spain with one main goal: to find a sea route to India, which was famous as the Golden Bird for its immense wealth. But navigating the vast, uncharted ocean, Columbus lost his way. After months of a brutal journey, instead of hitting India, he landed on a completely unknown continent. Believing he had successfully reached India, Columbus looked at the native people, who had a distinct reddish-copper skin tone, and called them Indians. Because of this massive misunderstanding, the indigenous people of this land were named Red Indians forever. Columbus actually died believing he had discovered India. It was only years later that another explorer, Amerigo Vespucci, realized this was not India at all, but a completely new world. It was his name, Amerigo, that inspired the name of the continent we know today as America. Once the European powers realized this new land was packed with endless resources, a wild race to capture it began. Britain took the lead, eventually establishing 13 different colonies along the eastern coast of America. At first, things were stable, but soon the British government started imposing heavy taxes on these colonies without their consent. This unfair treatment triggered a massive rebellion in 1773, famously known as the Boston Tea Party, where American revolutionaries dumped entire shipments of British tea into the ocean. This was an open declaration of war. Led by General George Washington, these 13 colonies united, fought a long, bloody war against the British Empire, and finally declared their independence on July 4th, 1776, giving birth to the United States of America. When America started, it was quite small, but instead of just fighting for more land, they decided to buy it. In 1803, America bought a massive piece of land called Louisiana from the French ruler Napoleon Bonaparte for just $15 million. This single deal instantly doubled the size of the country overnight. However, as the nation expanded, a dark internal conflict began to brew. The northern states were highly industrialized and wanted to abolish slavery, while the southern states depended heavily on agriculture and refused to give up their slaves. When Abraham Lincoln, a strict opponent of slavery, became president in 1860, the southern states threatened to break away from the country. This spark ignited the American Civil War from 1861 to 1865. It remains the bloodiest conflict in American history, claiming the lives of over 600,000 Americans as citizens fought against their own countrymen. Thanks to Lincoln's fierce determination, the North won, the nation stayed united, and slavery was permanently abolished. Tragically, just days after this historic victory, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. After the dark days of the Civil War, America entered a golden age of innovation. From Thomas Edison's light bulb to Henry Ford's assembly line cars, American inventions began changing the entire world. Steel, oil, and massive railway networks drove the economy to new heights. When the First and Second World Wars devastated the traditional superpowers of Europe, like Britain, France, and Germany, America remained geographically safe from the destruction. Its wealth and military power skyrocketed. By the time America developed the world's first nuclear bomb, and later witnessed the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, it stood completely unchallenged as the ultimate global superpower. If you want to keep watching incredible historical stories just like this one, don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss our upcoming videos.